The minute I entered the classroom, I just knew I was born to do this.
Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us. I think to begin with, if you could talk us through your career so far. I know you have a glittering career, so kind of talk us through how you first got into education, your journey, where it's taken you, and how you've arrived here at the the head of an IB school.
So I studied at Nottingham University, and I studied not to be a teacher. I studied economics and business, and with some computer science. And when I finished my undergraduate, I was invited to apply for a number of high-profile jobs in McKinsey and PricewaterhouseCoopers, and my favourite in the London Stock Exchange. And as I left one of the interviews and I walked home, and I thought to myself, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? Do I want to sit in an office? Do I want to look at the economy? Do I want to look at business management? Or is this something else that I want to do? And I couldn't stop thinking about what my mother did, and my mother was a teacher, and it was something that really resonated with what I wanted to do when I was growing up. But it sort of, I fell into a different path whilst I went through A-levels and university. So I thought to myself, right, I think I want to be a teacher. I think that's what I want to do. So it was almost like revisiting a childhood dream I had. And it was that moment when I went for an interview that I had that feeling of, I need to be a teacher, I want to be a teacher. However, it was very late in the year to apply for a teaching qualification or a teaching course, because I think it was sort of June or July, and you would have sort of applied earlier on in the year. So I contacted Roehampton for some reason, a beautiful university for teacher training, and asked them if they would see me for a teacher training qualification. And I was very fortunate. The right person answered the phone at the right time. I went in, and that was it. I started my teacher training course. So completed teacher training, ended up working in 2 fantastic schools in my first year. Fell in love. The minute I entered the classroom, I just knew I was born to do this. I felt alive, I felt passionate, and most of all, the thing I remember the most is that magic of making an impact, making a difference on these little lives around me that would then go on. It was like the chain of impact that would then go on to make an impact on the rest of the world at some point. And I fell in love with teaching, and I never came out of teaching or education since that day. Very fortunate. Within the first year, I was promoted to head of department for the maths, economics and IT department, where we had some phenomenal successes with results, and then very quickly promoted to a senior leader. I then went on to work for the United Kingdom government on a Building Schools for the Future programme with the Labour government, where I saw the rebuilding and refurbishment and the technological evolution, if you like, in secondary and primary state schools. Really enjoyed it. And that journey took me through a magnificent multitude of educational institutions. So I worked with colleges, I worked with nurseries, primary schools, secondary schools, private schools, state schools, hospital schools, prison schools, young offenders, pupil referral units, and really gave me the breadth and the depth of experience in education in the United Kingdom. Once I finished working within that organisation, I then ended up working for a fantastic school in West London, in Westminster. Really enjoyed my journey there, an international baccalaureate school as well as a British curriculum school, and helped turn around that school from special measures to outstanding within a record time. And it became very quickly one of the best schools in the country for the international baccalaureate, for the GCSE qualifications, and for special educational needs, as well as English as an additional language.
Looking back at that kind of history within education, what are some of the highlights? What do you remember most fondly? What are you most proud of? What would you pinpoint and say that was a fantastic experience?
I think, Fu, I think I've been really genuinely blessed to have the experiences and the mentors that I've met on my journey into my career. I've had some of the most formidable, some of the most fantastic mentors. So I had Sir Professor Tim Brighouse, who was a London Schools, if you like, London Schools czar, really phenomenal in turning around school improvement for all our London schools, and he was very much a mentor of mine, and really taught me and helped me understand the educational landscape, if you like. So I'm very lucky, and those are the sort of magical moments, meeting these people who have really helped me grow and develop. I think also education, it can't be taken on its own as a silo sort of institution. Education fits within a society. So the magical moments that really resonate with who I am and who I am becoming as a person and as a leader are very much to do with looking at education within a society, within a community, where it lends itself to culture, religion, love, economy, and that interconnectedness of education and how vital it is. So those moments when I've really been able to understand and explore further the deeper meaning of education and the impact education has on society at large has been really important. Now I say that because a lot of my work that I do within education as a career has expanded into charitable work. So I do a lot of charitable work with educational institutions, and I really enjoy that. And I feel that had I not been a teacher, I would not have been able to do those fantastic things for the underprivileged in the developing countries. And I'm very blessed that I have some fantastic people that I'm able to work with, like the Dangor family, my previous sponsors, like the Varkey family, my current chairman, and the family that I work for, like Sir Professor Tim Brighouse. These people have been phenomenal in their support in the work that I do, both within my career and outside.
I know that you are Chief Education Ambassador for the Varkey Foundation, and you're also the founding trustee of the Shahnaz Foundation, if I've pronounced that correctly. And I also know that you've dedicated much of your time to building schools for underprivileged children in some of the poorest parts of the world. Just tell us a little bit about kind of what inspires you when you're going about your work, and your journey in that kind of work that you've been doing.
So I just love education. Wherever I can get it, I want it. I just absolutely love education. And as I said earlier, the power of education to transform lives, and in some cases save lives, is something that's really close to my heart. And I've seen it, I've witnessed it, and I've been blessed to be able to have opportunities where I can support the fantastic work of the Varkey Foundation and the Shahnaz Foundation, and of course the other foundations that I work as an ambassador and a trustee for. You know, my passion, my heart, I live for education, whether it's at Gems World Academy or whether it's in the underprivileged, poor, very poor communities that I spend a lot of my time for charitable endeavours. You know, I have seen firsthand the power and the strength, the sheer strength of education and how it changes lives. I have seen incredibly poor children being able to go to school and just think that they have won the lottery because a school has opened. And what do these schools look like? They're little rooms with second-hand carpet, with a few books donated, with a chalkboard. And this is in today's time. But the fact that we are empowering children and communities to be able to read, write, speak, and make friends, learn how to take care of themselves through personal hygiene, these types of things, it just feels like you are giving these children the world when you do that. I believe every single child has the right, has an entitlement to education, free education. I believe that is a right and an entitlement to every child, for every child. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to make that happen, because I totally believe in it passionately with everything I am. And there's a real connection between Gems World Academy, for example, and the charitable work I do. And on the face of it, a lot of people are perplexed by this connection. Right. But you see, to me, it's very simple, and it's incredibly straightforward. The kids that I look after here are the leaders of today and the influencers of tomorrow. These children, if educated well through the International Baccalaureate curriculum and none other, and are able to understand their place in society and the power that they will have one day to change society for the good for everybody. And that is why our mission at Gems World Academy is education for a better world. Not education for a better me and a better my family and a better my home, but for a better world. These children, if educated well, are able to have choice at the end of their journey of GEMS World Academy and are able to go to the top universities or have the top internships or have the top experiences, they will be the powerful ones that will be able to make the changes, the decisions in government, in politics, as CEOs, as those top people that will make a difference to those that can't fend for themselves, which are the children in these charitable schools. That is my connection, and I genuinely believe that. And already I've been at this school for 132 days. I'm counting. 132 days, and the transformation I have seen in myself and my own ability to do charitable work as a result of GEMS World Academy has been unbelievable. I have had children knocking at my door and saying, we know you're doing charitable work, we want to build schools too, we want to raise money too, we want to donate too. The children here are phenomenal. Their care that extends to the communities around us in Dubai and outside are just unbelievable. And that's my real passion, to see that connection, because one person can't do it on their own. And I always say to children that I help, or where I build a school in a community that can't build one for themselves, I always say, when they say to me, we want to thank you, what can we do? I say to them that I'd like you to promise me one thing: when you have the ability to make the same difference that I've been able to for you today, you will do so. And when you do so, and somebody says to you, I want to thank you, you will ask them to pass that on and do the same thing one day. And I call that the chain of kindness. The chain of kindness, it just grows and grows and grows. So I believe with the 1,300 children I have here at GEMS World Academy, that chain has already multiplied, and we've already started doing incredible good. So that charitable work that I do is very much at the heart of what I do, but it works with the sort of career work that I do at GEMS World Academy, and not instead or on the side.